Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our show titled Speak of Africa. Before we begin with the topic of today is exposing the health secrets of Africa's presidents. That's the subject we're going to talk about today. We're going to investigate the health secrets of Africa's presidents. We're going to start with the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya. Then we'll go to the Central African Republic, Touadéra Assange. Then we're going to go to Equatorial Guinea, Obiangema. Then we're going to go to Gabon. We're going to remind you about Ali Bongo. But the current president is Oligui Nguema. But we're going to remind you about Ali Bongo. Okay? Then Nigeria. We're going to take you to the problems of Buhari Muhammadu. He's died, but his current president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he too is a sick man. He's a very, very sick man, but people are hiding it. We're going to talk about the secrets of his health. Then also going to take you to Rwanda. Paul Kagame looks like he's a guy who is in good health, but there are a lot of secrets that are not revealed. We're going to reveal those secrets today. Then finally, we're going to take you to South Africa. Of course, people like Mandela were very, very transparent with their health, but Cyril Ramaphosa seems not to be very transparent. So we're going to talk about that. So this is a synopsis of what we're going to do. So stay tuned. We have a lot to share with you. But before we start the show of today, we want to say thank you to all our subscribers. You guys subscribe quite a bit. We had over 8,500 new subscribers. Some people who subscribed in the past returned. We could also see from the statistics on YouTube. Some of you who left, you came back and will say, welcome back to the family. Without you, we will not really have a great channel. So we continue to build this channel to suit your needs. Our channel is different from the mainstream media. Our channel is different from most of those channels you see in Africa. What we do on this channel is to look at the news, to explain Africa to the world. That's what we do. We explain the truth about Africa. We don't sugarcoat things. We are not afraid of dictators. We tell you the truth. And you know, the secret of African president is the biggest secret any dictator wants to keep. Most of these presidents give the impression that they are supermen. They are a special being, the strong breed. But the truth about it is, they're just human beings like us. They're just like us. They may pretend with all the political rhetoric and propaganda that they are special. They are not special. So you look at it this way. In America, for example, we have one of the most vibrant democracies, right? The health of a president is transparent. The public wants to know how healthy a president is because it really affects the performance of that president. By contrast, in Africa, presidents treat their health as a state secret. So that tradition needs to change. And we're going to attack it now by telling you stories about the health secrets of Africa's presidents. So without further ado, we're going to start with Paul Biya of Cameroon. On this show, we've been telling you a whole lot about Biya's illnesses. He's been making fun. When we say, oh, the man is sick, he said, oh, wait, I will not die. We'll come back after 25 years. That's when I will die. But the truth about it is, Biya is seriously sick. This week, a lot of you guys sent us a lot of videos, and you sent us a lot of stories on what happened on 20th May in La République du Cameroon. What happened? We're going to tell the story. Even the march past was not the usual march past that took place in other years. Claude Mecca, the top military leader, was absent. He too was sick and was taken to France for medical treatment. So you see these guys, after running a country for more than 43 years, they still don't have good health care. Good health care is wanting in La République du Cameroon. You think that with a lot of the money these guys have embezzled, they will build digital hospitals for the common man so that they themselves too can benefit from these hospitals. But they always behave like it will happen to the common man in La République du Cameroon and it will never happen to me. Now they are falling like flies. They are dying because of ill health, and they are getting a lot older. So when you're getting older, a lot of diseases come with age. As much as these guys are pressing on privacy laws, we know in the United States, for example, since 1996, we had HIPAA, Health Information Portability and Accountability Act. Privacy is one of the pillars of HIPAA. But the medical chart is supposed to be revealed. And most presidents voluntarily reveal a lot of their medical summaries. Their physicians reveal this information anywhere. For example, Donald Trump goes to Walter Reed, checks with his doctor, then gets a bill of health, good health. By contrast, Paul Biya goes to Switzerland, he becomes missing in action. Nobody knows what he's doing, but he's secretly seeing doctors for treatment. And most of the time, if there is an African in that medical facility, they will tell him to go home that week until Biya returns to Cameroon. Then they will ask him to come back to the hospital, because they don't want any news of Biya's presence in that hospital to leak out. So they try to keep it a secret. But of course, we know from our studies in healthcare, I'm a healthcare expert. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm a healthcare expert. I understand the kind of illnesses that are rampant within a certain population. When you study statistics, you look at a population, what kind of diseases are common? Like people who are like 94, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer. Those are the kind of diseases that are common with people of Biya's age group. And you'll be surprised that Biya will fall within this population. And the kind of problems that these people are experiencing, Biya is experiencing those problems. His entourage tries to lie about it, tell you that, oh no, that's not what is happening. But we're going to tell you the story of May 2026. What happened? Biya fell again. Biya fell. And the Cameroon television had to cut it out. Biya fell. It was a big time disgrace. While the guests were watching the ceremony, Biya fell in the open. There was no way Chantal or Ferdinand Ngongo could hide it. It was all exposed. So everybody saw it. Ngongo came and told them, hey, please, don't say anything to anybody. Whatever you saw, don't say it to anybody. Keep it a secret, okay? But the damage has been done. So for the first time, the Cameroonian people have seen that Biya is not a guy who can govern. How can a 94-year-old guy be governing a country? That question has been asked by Cameroonians for years, but on May 20th, the answer was given to them, right in the open. God works in a funny way. Man proposes, God disposes. Ferdinand Ngongo, Chantal Biya, and all those Biya's underlings have been hiding the fact that Biya is sick. But the fall of Biya on May 20th during the 20 May celebration in Etudi Palace was very, very open. Cameroon television could not hide it. They tried to cut the images out so that they didn't broadcast it. But those who were in Etudi Palace saw it. And of course, Jeune Afrique has also reported on this problem. So it is not a secret anymore. Biya fell. And the fall of Biya presages the end of the regime. So just like what happened in Gabon, the people now are beginning to know that Cameroon is ruled by a sick person, by proxy. The sick person is not running the country anymore because he doesn't have the capacity to run the country. The people running the country are Ferdinand Ngongo and Chantal Biya and other members of the entourage. So they are just using the name of Biya to run the country. So if people did not know this, on May 20th, everything exploded in their face. They saw it. Everything exploded. So people now know Biya is not the one running Cameroon. The people controlling Cameroon are members of a cabal that wants to perpetuate the Biya system. Even though Biya is tired, jaded, and finish, they don't want him to go away. So until Biya kicks the bucket, they don't want to leave. So these people are the ones stealing all the resources of the country. They want to perpetuate the Biya era so that they can continue reaping all the benefits. But while they are doing this, it is the poor person in Cameroon who is suffering. It is the poor person in Cameroon who has nothing to eat. This is what we are telling you. We're not hiding this from you, so you can see the pictures. And most of the stories we're telling you have been corroborated by people who were in Itudi on May 20th for that celebration. They said this year's celebration was different. It was marked by the weakness, the physical frailty of poor Biya, and Chantal's apparent approach to make things look as if everything is normal. But Cameroonians are not fools. They saw what happened, and they knew this was not normal. Biya is finished. Biya est fini. Vous pouvez cacher la vérité, mais la vérité est dehors. Vous comprenez? La vérité est dehors. Tout le monde sait maintenant que non, Biya est fini. Biya est tellement malade. And what is Biya suffering from? We've told you already. We cannot reveal the chief complaints. We cannot reveal the diagnosis. But we're giving you an idea so that you know that we don't want to speculate. Because there's been a lot of rumors about Biya's health. Some people have been saying that he's suffering from prostate cancer. Some are saying that he's suffering from diabetes. He's also suffering from high blood pressure. So all these diseases are building in this guy's body so that his body now has become frail. At his age, there's not much that can be done to save him because age also is a factor. Look at the whole of this month. The month of May has been a terrible month for the barons of the Biya regime. They have just been falling like flies. They have been dying. Even Clement Atangana is fighting for his life in a Parisian hospital. Things are not easy. Some people are speculating already that Clement Atangana is dead. Do you guys remember Clement Atangana? Yes, this is the guy who stole the October election from Issa Chiroma and gave it to Paul Biya. Now Issa Chiroma is outside looking in. What's really happening? Well, Issa Chiroma is a guy that has disappointed his followers. He's still in Gambia. A lot of people, even Calixte Beyala, a very popular author from Cameroon, who used to support Issa Chiroma a whole lot, now she has decided to withdraw her support for Issa Chiroma. So you can see now that if things were normal, Cameroon will not be going through what is going on. Because right now, Cameroon is like a country that has no president. It's on autopilot. Chantal doesn't have the resources to run a country. Ferdinand Gongo is not really a smart guy. He too doesn't really have the resources to run a country. I have friends who were in ERIC, the International School, Relations School, with Ferdinand Gongo. They know him. And I hear he was not really a very bright student. So this is a guy who is running the country. So can you just imagine? Then why do you expect excellent results from a guy who doesn't really have the resources to run a country? Why do you expect excellent results? This guy is just a boy. They tell him what to do, and he just executes. And he loves to steal. That's what Ferdinand Gongo does very well. People know this. So many problems. Who is solving the problems? Nobody. Look at even the news. A little baby, less than 4 years old, was raped in a school in Yaoundé. If a president is strong, can things like this be happening? No, because there's nobody taking care of the house. Nobody. A child that is less than 4 years old goes to a school. Imagine your own daughter being raped in a school. And the government sends soldiers to the street to stop the protests, women who are protesting this tragedy, to be arrested. Come on, what a country. So that's the sad thing. Then of course, corruption. Corruption has become the name of the game in La République du Cameroon. It's because Biya's health is not responsible for this, but I think the fact that he decided to stay in power when he knows that he's not in good health, he cannot exercise the function of president, that's what the problem is. Okay? A young girl, Miss Nga, Melissa, she is writing her exam. She fell sick. She goes to the hospital. Because she doesn't have money to bribe, they cannot treat her. Then she dies. And this girl is even a Betty girl. When I tell Anglophones that your problem is not with Francophones, Anglophones don't have the brains to listen to me. Francophones are suffering from this Biya regime also. So it's not only Anglophones. This girl who died in Yaoundé from Congo hospital is a Betty girl, a young Betty girl, 22 years old. She was writing exams and she fell sick. She went to Congo hospital. The doctors could not treat her because she did not have money. The news is all over social media. People are clamoring, angry. Well, how can this be happening in a country? This girl did not have to die. Well, no money, no life. That's the mantra in Biya's Cameroon. Okay? So this is really sad. But people are suffering like this. Then, of course, the Ambazonia problem is still there. Who is solving it? Nobody wants to solve anything. The whole country is at a standstill because Biya is finished. Biya cannot run a country. Everybody just waiting for Biya to die so that they can come up with their strategies to perpetuate themselves in power. But I'm afraid what happened in Gabon can happen in Cameroon. They have been shifting people in the army just because they are afraid of coup d'etats. But a coup d'etat may take place in Cameroon anytime from now. And I will tell you that, mark my words. A coup d'etat can take place. A lot of people are angry. A lot of young people in the army are angry with the Biya system. And they may want to finish this system before Biya closes his eyes. Don't be surprised that the day they announce that Biya is dead, a coup d'etat is going to take place. Because people are preparing. They are not sitting idly. They are working. Because they really want to get rid of this regime, this diabolical regime, this occultic regime. Now, we take you to the Central African Republic. Are things better? Not really. Assange Touadera, he has forced a third term on the people. So the Central African Republic is a very rich country. After France has exploited this country, the country has fallen now into Russian hands. They are exploiting all the natural resources of this country. Assange Touadera is stealing the resources, but he doesn't care about the country. A few years ago, we talked about his irresponsible son, his prodigal son. Is this how you run a country? No, the whole country has become his property. But we hear Assange Touadera too is not in good health. He's a sick man. What is he sick of? We're going to tell you soon. He's not well. Look at his big stomach. This guy is running the country, but he's terribly sick. Inside that big tummy, it's a colony of a lot of diseases. Okay? Then we'll take you now to Equatorial Guinea. What about Equatorial Guinea? Well, Equatorial Guinea is also ruled by Obiangema. This guy killed his uncle and took power back in 1975. Since then, he has ruled the country with a very iron fist. He has killed even more people than his uncle dared to kill. Now he's saying his young son, Theodorin, is going to take over from him. So at least in this Equatorial Guinea, people are thinking that, well, they have a successor. But is this going to be a smooth transition? That's the question we're telling you. So we just want to tell you some of the stories that are popular now in the motherland. This guy was behaving in a very humble way when the Pope visited Equatorial Guinea. But he's a bad guy. He kills people, but he himself now is sick. Even though he gives the appearance of somebody who is in good shape, he's still ruling the country, but he also is finished. He's finished because he's very, very sick. He doesn't have what it takes to run the country. It's just that the apparatus of security is in his hands, so he can do a whole lot of stuff with it. So that's really sad. And then we'll take you now to Nigeria. In Nigeria too, we've talked about Bola Tinubu. He's also a sick person. On May 30th, the people of Biafra were looking back in anger. They were reminding us of the struggles for self-determination of those people. IBOB, MASOB, both groups got their members to celebrate. But Bola Tinubu keeps telling you, I'm doing well. I'm going to run again in 2027. His wife is not even helping him. This guy is sick, and when you look at this guy, you can tell that he's sick, even though he doesn't want to agree that he's sick. He's been visiting France and England. He will tell you, he's really in the hospital to cure himself. He says his problem is actually knee surgery, an injury he sustained, and he had surgery. That's all what he has. But no, this guy collapses all the time. He collapses in Nigeria. He collapses in Turkey. So you know he has a serious problem. He has a serious health issue. So Nigerians, open your eyes. Bola Tinubu is a sick guy. He's not well. Okay, we'll take you next to Rwanda. What about Paul Kagame? Well, he presents himself as a soldier who is in good shape, but we hear he too is not very, very well. We hear he's a sick person. Why is he not revealing his records? If Paul Kagame is in good health, we challenge him on this show to share his records with the population. Let us see his medical records. Let them not remain a secret. Okay? We want to see them, but he's not showing them to anybody. We know he's doing a lot of good things for his people in terms of development. He steals from Congo DRC and uses that money to develop his country. But already he controls a lot of the wealth in Rwanda. And that's the only problem I have with Paul Kagame. He too is stealing a lot of the wealth of his country. So people may say he's developing the country, but he's also a big thief. He's really stealing a lot of the resources of Rwanda. We're going to end the show of today by taking you now to South Africa. In South Africa, the current president is Cyril Ramaphosa. He's been saying that, oh, most of the time he only had COVID-19 or he just had a flu. But we hear he too is a sick person. He too is a sick person, but he's keeping his medical records a secret. Why? African presidents love secrecy, especially when it comes to medical records. Yet, they present themselves as superhuman beings, supermen. Supermen don't get sick, right? No, they get sick, and we see it every day. Supermen get sick. Jacob Zuma got sick. Nelson Mandela got sick. We saw all of that. But the focus that we're going to give to this guy, Cyril Ramaphosa, if you're in good health and you are not sick, your country has a lot of problems with unemployment. Your youth is still dealing with problems of this unemployment and corruption. Why can you not tackle this problem? The youth of South Africa is chasing away foreigners. Foreigners who own shops are vandalized. They vandalize their shops. They suffer other forms of violence. Why are you not doing something about it? So it's all your fault because you are the president. The dream of the end of apartheid is now a mirage. The people were thinking that after apartheid, they will be able to live a more decent life, but that's not what is happening. Their government cannot even help them get jobs. So joblessness is a serious problem among the youth all over Africa, which is why you see a lot of the young people running away from Africa to Europe because they are searching for greener pastures. And that's why even in South Africa, they always look for a scapegoat. Now, our guy, Kemi Seba. Kemi Seba is a very popular blogger, online warrior. He's still being arrested in South Africa today. So we want to plead for him to be released. Why do you want to take Kemi Seba and send him to Benin so that he can be killed? We don't think this is a good thing for a democracy such as South Africa to do. So let's talk to the South African government. Let them know that they are not handling the case of Kemi Seba very well. We know he's in support of Russia, he's against the West. But why should we not be against the West? The West has not really shown us that they are an honest broker, that they want to help Africa develop. So that's why most African countries are turning now to China and Russia, because they are frustrated with the dealings they've had with the West for a very long time. So when you have to see this, it's a logical progression. When I see that America cannot help me, France cannot help me, they will only steal my resources, then I will start looking for new friends. If you are my friend and you are only doing evil to me, why will I stay with you as a friend? I have to make new friends. And that's what most African countries are thinking about doing. South Africa, think about this and do something about it. So, my friends, we've come to the end of this show. We've talked to you about the health of African presidents. This is the biggest state secret. So to start gathering more information, share this with us, what you know about the health of African presidents, because we want to share this with all our viewers. Now, we're not working alone. we are asking you to collaborate with us to build this channel. This week, we rose from over 70,000 subscribers to over 80,000 subscribers. So we gained over 10,000 subscribers in 1 month. So this is a major achievement. And you can even see vidIQ and TubeBuddy. They even congratulated us for a job well done. But I will not take credit for that work. I will give the credit to you people, because you guys are the ones who made it possible. So guide us, make this channel a better channel. May God bless you.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.